Hey YouTube, I'm gonna go run some errands, and then I plan on going out to the house site to dig some more piers and just kind of check it out. I haven't been out there in a few weeks because we've had tons of rain. I'm hoping maybe the next either today or tomorrow I can get my friend who has some heavy equipment out there just to look at it and hopefully get something scheduled because I'm sick of waiting around, and I think this might be my answer to the holdup. I know this has been pretty slow going. I've still made progress, but it's been way out of order. It's kind of strange when you're finishing cabinets and you don't have any concrete in the ground yet. But anyway, we're going to run some errands. I'm going to show you just briefly. I'm working on a little attic kiln in the church that I work at. I don't know if it'll work or not, but it's kind of an idea I had. And I'll show you that. And then I'm about to go to Atwood's and get a sombrero and a few other things. Well, I struck out at Atwood's, so I had to go. Yeah, I know, it's terrible. But to my surprise, I found this app, and it rang up on the app for $20. There it is. And then when I checked out, it was only $5.48. So, it works out, I guess. It's not, I'd like to have one that's a little bit bigger brim, but they just didn't. Nobody has anything. I don't know. Maybe you know where to get big hats. I used to have this Mexican sombrero, like legit Mexican sombrero, straight from Mexico. It looked hilarious, but it kept the sun off of your shoulders as my mowing hat. But it kind of degraded over time. This looks like it'd be good just to throw around in the truck and rinse off and whatever. But for $5, you can't beat it. Well, I'm dropping some stuff off, and I'm going to do a whole video about this probably, but this is the beginnings of my little attic kiln, and I've just got a little fan, a place to stack some wood. I forgot to bring my moisture meter up, but I'll do a whole thing. I'm going to get one of those little multi-display things that tells you the temperature and humidity and all that stuff. Already kind of getting some warpage going on where that knot is, but this is all lumber that I've milled up that I used my moisture meter on. It was just a little too high or way too high. Some of it was like 20 or low 20s, and so that's way too wet to be trying to build cabinets with. So I'm going to see how this works. I've done some research on solar kilns, and we got a similar situation. You just need it to get pretty hot. I'm going to treat this stuff with other things to kill bugs, but I don't think bugs are an issue. We'll see. But just kind of a sneak peek of something I'm working on. There's not much to look at, but this is kind of how it goes. I don't have what I need yet, and so I'm just trying to find the next best thing, which is a pretty common theme in my life, I would say. Well, I got on site finally. It took me forever, but I got my new hat. Pumped about. It's been some time weed eating a path because it is really going up. I think I'm going to bring the mower back maybe tomorrow, but I spent a long time just kind of walking around, taking note of where the poison ivy is, and at the end of the day, today, I'll just go around and spray it all. And a bunch of other stuff too with Roundup, just kill it. But now I've got everything set up. I got a new little setup with a table. I'll show you here in a minute, but I'm going to cut down this tree right here, or at least try, because I forgot about it. It's the last one, as far as I know, that needs to come down, because I'd hate for that to fall on the house. So I'm just going to fire up the chainsaw and go for it. Perfection. That worked pretty good. Here is my layout for my foundation. And I just sketched up. I looked at the plans and did some math and whatever. And it's a pretty simple house. My piers are on 8-ish foot centers, and then these are going to be 6, which should be plenty good for what it is. So I'll have a rim joist that's doubled up. I'm going to remember that. And the hardware that I have accounts for that. It's a 4x4. And so a double, 1 5/8 or whatever ends up being about that size too. And so I've got to account for things like in that corner, it's got to go to one side or it's going to be in the wrong spot. So I'm going to go 4 inches in to give myself about 1 inch of just breathing room. And it's okay to have a little cantilever. It's not a big deal. And then you can block it out to do your skirting or whatever. And so I'm going to go through right now and just double check that my holes that I drilled for this front are close to that. Because again, they don't have to be dead on. Now, when I put the forms in the ground, they need to be as close as possible because I'm actually going to pour concrete with the hardware for the bottom in it. So they need to be on the money. So I'm going to double check what I've got. I'll just show you my holes real quick. What's left of them. I cleaned this one out, but it had a bunch of crap in the bottom of it. And I've drilled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So this one is the corner of the main part of the house. And then I'll go in 2 feet somewhere in that area to do the rest. And the weather kind of made a mess of my corner boards, but I'll rebuild those and we'll get the lines going. And I probably won't show you a ton of this because I don't really know how to video it other than what I'm doing right now. But in essence, I'm going to reuse that one, establish one corner, establish the front, and then I'll probably go, I need to go and make sure I get this in square. And you just do some measurements with 2 tape measures. You can do like a 3, 4, 5 triangle to see if it's square, and then go corner to corner both ways. And I'll put a corner, somewhere in this area. And the outside of the corner of the house is where that stake is, right there. So I'm going to do some of that. I don't know how much I'm going to film. We'll see what happens. All right, so just for reference, there's my little setup and the power pole. That's the far end of the house. Truck's over there, whatever. This is the front line. I drilled these holes before, and unfortunately, the first one I did is a little bit off of where I want it to be. So that's a bummer. But anyway, I finally set up a rough corner. I'll probably dial this in a little better, but I've got my batter boards, and they go over. It's a foot from the cross section to that screw and to that screw. And so I took and measured. I did the 3, 4, 5 method. And instead of measuring from there, I just, added a foot. And so it gives me 4 feet to that pin, put a pin in the ground. And then I put a zip tie. I measured it off there. Put a zip tie on here to mark my reference. And then this is on that pin. And so it's kind of hard to hold it all there. But 3, 4, 5. So 5 foot at the long part. This part from there to that pin. Corner is 4 feet, and then it's 3 feet that way. And that's how you get a rough square. It's not the most accurate thing, but I put a stake down so I know where to put it. And I'm just a touch off, but it'll be okay for what I'm doing right now. And then I put a pin there and moved it that way until it was just touching my reference pin right there. And so this gives me 2 corners. And so I can drill holes from this pin going that way and this way. And to set up this back line, I just measured 16 feet off because that's my width, and just kind of ran it out there wild, and did the same thing over there. In that corner, you can't really see it, but it's over in that way. And then I'll put the holes. The holes can be, 6 inches off and still be usable probably. I might have to widen them out like I'm going to have to do with that one where the post hole diggers are setting. But I don't know how much more I'm going to do today. I'm hoping the rain holds off. It's looking pretty gray, but I'm going to look at the radar and then I'll probably make a decision. But more than likely, I'll probably just drill a couple holes. So here is the layout for my piers. And I've done these 4, 5, but this one's wrong. It's too far that way, and so I need to go back. And then I'm going to drill. We used to have to be on a 2-foot offset, but the rest of them are pretty easy. Just follow the measurement. 4 inches in, 1 center to 8.4, 16.4, so on and so forth, and then come back. I'm doing this so they'll land in specific spots that are not where the floor joists are. And so I've just kind of gone through and thought about my 16-inch on center layout. And that's what I'm about to do. I got some paint, and I'm about to go and mark where these are at. And then I'm going to start drilling holes. And I might actually just kind of, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't want to speak to that till I'm ready. But let me show you what I got going on. Roundabout here is the corner. And there won't actually be anything there. It'd be inset 2 feet. And so I'm just going to use my tape, and not spray on my tape, but, well, or spray on my tape. Great. There's my spot. This one will be the same thing. I don't have to spray it because it's in the ground. That everywhere there's a corner, I don't necessarily need to do it. I just need to know that it's 4 inches in from the corner so that it lands in a spot that you can actually put something. So that's my edge, and then I'll come back this way just a little bit. And again, they don't have to be perfect. They just got to be pretty close. 6 inches probably works. Unfortunately, this one I drilled there is really wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll probably just put it up on time lapse so you can see me do what I'm doing. Well, that's all for today. I got 4 holes drilled. I laid out the rest of the piers. I had a new hat, which is awesome. I'm sure my hair looks awesome. Sprayed some stuff with Roundup and weed eated, just some other things. Pretty productive day, but hopefully tomorrow I will come back and finish. Well, maybe not finish, but do some more at least. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe.